Pete, welcome to Property Elevator.
Good to meet you.
Tell me, are you a property investor full-time?
I wouldn't say full-time, I'm an architect, but I also do architecture development, and I've got a product which is a service accommodation, sort of like a unique holiday let.
Okay.
And it's something I've already developed. I've already done the first one, but I'm hoping to sort of roll it out on a bit of a larger scale across multiple sites in the country. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, where's this particular deal located?
So it's 3 separate locations. So there's, various locations around the southeast. But the current one's based in Shropshire as well.
Okay, nice. And is there anyone in particular that you think would be a good partner with you for this deal?
I do think potentially Hayley, because I know she's more into businesses which generate a cash flow and serviced accommodation. So seems like the sort of appropriate partner.
Okay, well, fingers crossed that she likes it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Best of luck. I'm going to send you up into the lift and we will chat when you get back down.
Great.
All right.
Catch you later.
Thanks, Pete.
Bye, bye.
That's interesting.
Hello Angels, my name's Peter Marcos and I'm seeking £164,000 in return for 55% equity in my SPV. The purpose of the SPV is to deliver 3 separate monocoque cabins, which is a form of serviced accommodation. In return, I'll be providing 20% of my own money for the deal, and I'll be acting as the lead architect and the lead planning consultant, as well as managing the trades during the construction. I'll also be managing the let as a serviced accommodation once it's complete. So a bit of background on the product and the project. So we've previously built one of these, which are currently being rented out on service accommodation websites for short-term letting, such as Airbnb. The project is located on various sites across the country. The land itself belongs to farms. The idea is that we enter a lease agreement with a farm and they receive 10% of the profit share, and then they don't necessarily receive an equity, but they receive that as a profit share throughout the lease. In terms of costs, we think with this one we'll be able to cost it at about £65,000 per unit. In terms of return, so for the 3 cabins, for the 3 units, we're looking at about £110,000 in profits. And in terms of the anticipated GDV, we're approximating that about £810,000. The purpose of this deal is to produce the next 3, but ultimately I think this can go much further and it can be a number of sites across the country. And of course, that's the main reason I'm here today. Of course, there is the funding, but there's also having your expertise to help us grow this as a service accommodation and scale it as a business. So thank you, and I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much for your pitch. Very interesting. Shall we have a look at it?
Yeah, sure. So, Paul, if you just hold it at the bottom, and you can open it up and see what it's like inside as a space as well.
How is this different from, say, a static home?
Yeah.
Or a park home that is produced en masse in a factory? What is this by comparison?
So I think a few things by comparison, and this isn't to do down other products on the market, but there are some things on the market which would only have a lifespan of 5 to 10 years, maybe a bit longer, also 15 years. Static caravans typically fall into that sort of category.
When you lease the land off the farmer, it's a nice looking building, I get it, it blends in with the surroundings and everything, but what planning, if any, do you need to put those cabins on the farmland?
So the key with the planning is the purpose. So because the purpose of this is a commercial lease and a commercial property on Airbnb, you do need planning. So you'd need a C3 planning for that.
So these will have to go up with...
C1.
C1, sorry, C1, yeah.
And looking at the cabins, I mean, they're relatively small, so I guess you'd have a number of cabins, and then you'd have to build certain communal facilities to service all that, and that would all be subject to a full planning application. Is that correct?
So the idea is there's not really any ancillary services with that. So
Okay.
you've got a toilet and a bathroom and a shower integrated in that. The services is the solar panels which go on the top. You would need connection to a water source, so that's the main thing we'd need from a farm is a
And the
connection
waste?
to clean water. Waste, it's a septic tank.
Yeah.
So you'd have to dig that into the ground, or is it just is included into the building?
Again, you'd have to dig that into the ground, but there are options. So the current unit, we've got a compost toilet, but we've realised in hindsight, which again is the good thing about having done this already, that the compost toilet just has become quite expensive to service and a bit of faff.
I mean, you just touched upon one of my biggest concerns is with your distributed model, with only one very small, very low income unit in multiple, distant locations. How on earth are you going to service that? Imagine having 100 of these dotted around the country. None of them are close to each other. That's 100 cleaners, 100 people changing compost toilets, 100 people checking in. I know you can deal with some of these things with automated check-ins and key code lots, and maybe the farmer does some of the management. So can you explain how you propose to make that work?
So we've got systems in place with the cleaner to deal with, I'd say 90% of the potential problems that might come up. I would say myself, I might have to go there once every 2 to 3 months for something being too big of a deal. So,
But if you have 100 units, you're not going to be able to do that.
true, but because the net profits of each one of these units is about 30,000, if we had 100 units, we'd more than have capacity to be able to hire people to help support
And that 30 grand's after all those cleaning costs and servicing and
Yes.
management per unit.
per unit.
Net pre-tax profit.
Net pre-tax profit, yeah.
Do you have any of these out in the field at the
Yeah,
moment?
so I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the occupancy level on that one?
The last month, it was about 33%. But again, February's like our worst month, and it's turned over about £2,500. And again, like I said, that's our worst month.
Peter,
John.
very interesting. So, if Mrs. Howard allowed one to go on in the parkland,
In the parkland,
That's his garden.
in the estate, most people's garden.
if allowed, what sort of, how big are they, first of all? What square footage are they?
Square footage is about 15 square metres.
So about 150 square feet,
I don't know the comparison
15
in
square
feet,
metres.
is that-
yeah, about 150, about a bit more.
Crikey, that's
and
small.
the
That's like a
shepherd,
double bedroom.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A shepherd's hut, which is really what you're competing with, a lot of the trendy shepherd's huts. David Cameron even had one to write his memoirs, but I don't think anyone bought the book. It was that thick, no one could read it all, and I don't think. Anyway,
I read it actually.
you did read it.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people.
Very interesting one. You're one of the very few to read it, I think.
You and John.
Yeah.
How much a week are you renting these for?
I mean, like I said, I think the month comparison is probably
Yeah, sorry, that's fine.
So a low month revenue, I would say about 2,500 to 2,800. Then you've got your sort of mid months, so about 3,500, and then your very busy months, sort of August, July, you're looking about 4,000.
These are double units, aren't they? As in double occupancy.
Yeah,
What's the average length of someone's stay?
2 to 3 nights, I'd say. But we've got some bookings at the moment, sort of 9 nights, 10,
Amazing.
15 nights. So.
Now, I think you might have hit on something here, because a lot of farmers are looking for other alternative income, and there's a lot of equestrian properties across the UK, and they always need accommodation for grooms. So I think, not just on the holiday letting side, but I think there's other. I'm doing the job for you, Peter.
I was going to say, John's tapped into another revenue stream.
There's other revenue streams I think that you could get with this. So you could certainly rent some out on an annual basis or whatever, or sell them. I know planning is still required, but You know, there's stud farms where you need someone staying there full time, you know, all the rest of it on site, and there's no other accommodation. So I think there's quite a few different types of angles to this. And this all comes really from the shepherd's huts that were all trendy a few years ago, like we said, but they are even smaller than what you're doing.
Yeah.
And they're about 35,000 to buy new. And they do let those out, you know, they are let out quite often. So I do think, I mean, you don't understand, you don't see any green fields anywhere where you live. But I mean, for the people that live in nicer areas,
areas.
There is a real demand for this type of thing, Peter.
I don't know, you could put 6 in a back garden and sublet.
So Peter,
In
You
Hounslow.
can stack them high in London.
you mentioned in your pitch that there was a GDV of £810,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just talk us through how you get from a cost of 65k for one of these to a value of £810,000, which is 12, 13x.
Yeah, so the net profits is 110,000 for the 3 units. I've sort of done like a multiply by 10 of that, of what the yield would be over 10 years, and then lowered it slightly because we're obviously appreciating that partly these are...
So it's a business valuation.
Yes.
Yeah, business valuation
Yeah.
of £810,000.
Yeah.
Question I have on the cabin itself, is this something that's off the shelf, or is this something that you have the IP on and you've designed?
Something I've designed. I made that model with my girlfriend. And
Who made it, you or your girlfriend?
I did the 3D print bits. She did all the nice paper.
She's the
bits.
talent.
Yeah, she's the talent. Yeah, I'm the face. Yeah.
It's a bit like me and you, John. I'm the face, and
And Scott's the talent. Talking about the locations, you mentioned scattered. How scattered?
Not massively scattered. I mean, so we're looking at places around the Cotswolds, places around North London. So it's quite strategically. So like I said, the first one's between Birmingham and Manchester.
Okay. Any more questions, or shall we go to offers?
I'll go first. This is effectively a rent-to-rent model, and so from a debt perspective, I would not be interested. I wish you all the very best with it. Thank you.
Hayley?
I think this could either be a gold mine or a landmine. I'm actually unsure of which one it is. I think if you'd have come in with 5 or 6 sites already pre-agreed and more of a detailed business plan, it might have been something that I was interested in. But I don't think you've brought enough information for me to be able to invest in this.
I agree with Hayley in as much that I think it's just a bit too early. I think if you said, look, John, I've got 5 sites, I want 10, I want 15. So you've proved the concept more than you have, and I accept the fact you've done one, and that's great. So it isn't something I would like to invest in today, I'm afraid.
That's right. Okay.
I think it's the same. It's the same for me. I think the thing that I'm more concerned about is the planning, because when I look at the sort of purpose-built cabin or outhouse industry space, a lot of people seem to have gone for that to sell to people to put in back gardens under PD, because you can do that in your back garden without asking for planning permission. And I just wonder whether the reason why the market has gone for that is because it's just so easy and the planning permission is so difficult. So I've liked that whole area to be cleared up a lot more with a bit more certainty.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Nicholas, what do you all like to do?
No, I really like it. I really like you. I think you're really credible. You've put a lot of work into this. This is a real business. You know, you've got a site off the ground. It's not conceptual. I have some concerns about managing it, checking people in. You know, what if the toilet breaks in the middle of the night? Who's dealing with that? The farmer's not going to want any hassle. But I think there could be a way we could tie up a service level agreement with the farmer to do a level of servicing of each cabin. Take some of the management away from you, put that onto the farmer as part of the lease agreement. So he's having to work a little bit. I'd also want to be going for planning for 2 or 3 units per site, and I think you'd get that. Then if it does work, you'd scale it up and do 2 or 3 per site, again, increasing your profit margins. I think you can put it on fishing lakes. Like John said, he's given us the great idea of putting it on the equestrian facilities.
I want a commission on that, by the way.
No problem. we'll do his for half price on his land. And I think there'll be a lot of other businesses like that that would like someone to come in with a turnkey solution where you might have to share a bit more of the profit, let them do a bit more of the running of it, so you're distributing the running costs and you become a hut provider where you're taking equity in the deal and the farmer's running it for you. So I think you could tweak your business model to make this really work. I've always wanted to run a cabin business or be involved in one. You're an architect and you can do planning and you can get those costs to basically zero. So the risk of going for a deal is going to be minimal. It's not £5,000-10,000 in planning fees. I love that. So I think we can bring new sites on cheaply, and if we can tweak the business model in some of the ways I've suggested, I think we can scale this very quickly. So on that, if you're prepared to consider some debt, I'll top up any equity we need to get the business going, cash flow, and I'll offer you what you've asked for. 50% of the business will be partners.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, thank you.
That's one offer. Don't say anything yet because you've still got Paul to.
Yeah.
Now Nicholas has given him all the ideas. That's brilliant for Paul.
I'd be willing to do it with Nick, and potentially we could scale it up more quickly. And that would add some more resources. I've got a team, Nick's got a team, and we could potentially help with finding those sites and negotiating and all the rest. So I'd be open to doing the same sort of thing that Nick proposed, but the three of us involved.
Yeah.
Peter, what would you like to do?
I think it's best to go with the two of you. Yeah, that sounds good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deal done. Fantastic. Very good.
Looking forward to working with you. Yeah, well done, mate. Yeah, good deal.
Amazing. Cheers, guys.
Well done.
Yeah, great.
Well done.
Can I just say, I've given you all the ideas there.
Yeah, well, one of the ideas.
Nicholas, that's great. Well done, mate.
Oh, little bromance over there going on.
They can't
You know
keep
what?
their hands like
I was literally just reading
5
about.
minutes.
I was 10 minutes ago, before I knew what this deal was. I was just reading about how cabins are taking off, and there was one on the
big now,
beach
it's big.
renting for £2,500 a night or something ridiculous.
Yeah. And if we can get 3 or 4, he's not even mentioned putting 3 or 4 on one side.
No, I think three is a
or
good
4 on.
number on these sites. Because you can spread them
They
out.
can be hidden from each other, yeah.
Well, you do one.
you
If
can
you get
get
full occupancy, you stick another one. When you've got full occupancy there, you stick
Well,
another one.
also, you only need a Clygester system for all three then.
Yeah.
You're not, so what am I doing? I should have invested. I'm giving you guys all the ideas.
this
The
is
only
why
one
I
who
go
doesn't
last
understand
strong.
anything about it is Ranjan, because he doesn't know about land and fields. It's like,
think it's a gold mine.
Unless it's mains drainage, he's lost, isn't he? He's lost. Doesn't he what a Clygester is, do you?
I think you're bringing up shit issues. I think this is a gold mine prospect. I really do. I think don't think it's a landmine. If I just don't have any interest in this.
No, and you have to have
thingy,
interest in whatever
you've got to
do.
have a passion in it.
Yeah.
You've obviously got a passion in it, and I get it. But if I had the passion in it, I'd be in there as well. I just don't.
Great.
Hey Pete.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, more importantly?
Yeah, it went well. I got Nick and Paul, so worked out really well. And I got the percentages I want as well.
Brilliant.
With the amount. I think I could have spoke a lot better when it came to the pitch at the beginning. But ultimately, it's been a really good result, so really, really happy.
Good. Sometimes nerves get the better of us, but it sounded like it went really well for you, so that's the main thing, right?
Absolutely, it's worked out perfectly, so
Good.
super happy.
Good. So what's the next step for you then?
I think we're going to start looking at different sites and then just progress the planning applications really. Just look at the options of how many units we fit on the site. But I think there's a lot of opportunity with this and lots of directions we can take it. So, and they seem really excited as well, which is really great.
Yeah, and they're also a really good team together. They work really well together. So you have a very good team with Nicholas and Paul.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the project, and thank you very much for joining us on Property Elevator.